My name's Lee Kavanagh. I'm an advisor here at Stroud Wealth Management. Our clients, and I think investors in general, are taking a growing interest in how and where their money is invested. So they have a lot of questions about this. For example, just how can investing be a force for good in the world? In addition, we find ourselves engaging in lots of conversations about the importance of what might be termed financial education, something that I provide on occasions to local schools, and something that I know has been accessed by a lot of our clients, and also Rob and his wife Caroline, who I work with. So I suppose the big question here is, how do we give our youngsters the tools that they need to help them achieve secure futures and financial well-being? Needless to say, then, it's kind of beyond my abilities to address these two big issues. But thankfully, though, I'm joined today by Rob Gardner, who's Chief Investment Officer at St James's Place, someone I'm very confident will be able to bring some clarity for us all. So hi, Rob, and thank you very much for agreeing to speak with us today. We know how busy you are.
Thanks, Lee. Great to be here.
We'll dive straight in if that's okay with you. So, Rob, you claim to be a financial activist on a mission to make money a force for good for people and the planet and create financial well-being in a world worth living in. That all sounds very good, very admirable, and you are clearly very passionate about what you do. But what has actually been achieved since you joined St James's Place in January 2019?
Well, there's a lot in that. But so to be clear, I'm the Director of Investments at St James's Place, which means I'm responsible for the whole team that looks after all of our clients' wealth. So all of Stroud's clients. I've been an SJP client for 6 years. My mum and dad are clients. My daughters are clients. My wife clients. So you take our 800,000 clients across the UK, and we've got a whole load of clients who are literally babies, less than 1 year old. And we've actually got a few hundred clients who are over 100 years old. So I want to come back to this 100-year life. And first and foremost, our job is to deliver long-term investment performance to make sure that people can have a financial well-being, which typically means that their money outgoes inflation and they have enough money to retire on. So financial well-being in a world worth living in, number one goal is delivering that investment performance. But there's this other idea of a world worth living in, which says that actually there's no point in having any money if we've trashed the planet, we have no coral reefs, we've killed 40-50% of our animals. And there's this really interesting kind of concept of responsible investing. And I know you're kind of going to ask me tough questions on that later, where actually your money can be used as a force for good. Your money can be used to make businesses better. And so really our goal is twofold. One is to deliver superior investment performance over the long term, and a kind of what I call decades, not days, time horizon. And two, to ensure that that money is invested in the right way. You asked me what has SJP achieved since I joined. So when I joined, we were at about 96 billion pounds. Today, that's 130 billion pounds. We invest our money across 39 different funds and 69 different strategies. And so what I wanted to do was transform the culture of the team to really embrace this idea of financial well-being in a world worth living in. I wanted to change our investment governance to integrate environmental, social, and governance issues into how we make decisions, both as a source of risk and also as a source of return. And we can unpack that later. And there are certain sort of standards that you can look to. So SJP is rated by the United Nations Principles for Responsible Investing as A+ itself because of the resources that we have. We've invested a huge amount of money using a system called Aladdin, which is provided by BlackRock. We source all the best data from people like MSCI. We work with third parties, so we can expose all of our 4,300 stocks and bonds and properties to data and understand what the environmental, the social, and governance risks are. And what we did is I set a standard and said by the end of 2020, I wanted every single one of our fund managers signed up to the United Nations Principles for Responsible Investing. And we engaged with them And over that period, we've fired a few fund managers and we've appointed a few new ones. And so since we've joined, we've achieved that. And I think that's pretty unique. I know the principals, the United Nations PRI team are really pleased with the way that because of SJP, those fund managers signed up. Now, I mentioned earlier that we're rated A+. 63% of our fund managers are rated A+, which is double the industry standard. And we will continue to raise that bar. The other thing that we did last year was we think it's really important that clients understand where they invest. And so we create a quarterly carbon footprint report. So, you can let your clients know what is the carbon footprint of their portfolio and why is this important and how does this feed into climate change and how this is both good for their financial performance as well as kind of delivering a world worth living in. And at the end of November, we were the first wealth manager globally to sign up to what's called the Net Zero Asset Owners Alliance. And that's a commitment to have all of the money that we invest to be net zero by 2050. But working back from that, later this year, we're going to be bringing out our commitment to reduce the carbon footprint of our investments by anywhere between 15 and 30% by 2025. And so we will be publishing that later this year. And in the run up to November, when we've got COP26 in Glasgow, we're going to be relaunching one of our global funds to make it aligned with a 1.5 degree C world. So the target is to get all investments to deliver a 1.5 degree C world. Right now, if you invest normally, we're on track for a 3 to 4 degree C world. So that fund is a £13 billion fund. And as I say, we're going to be making changes to that fund, which will make a big difference for all of our clients and how they invest. And we're very confident that it will deliver that long-term sustainable performance whilst at the same time driving the change that is needed to move to a net zero world.